Happy Monday, young historians. I know that you're very, very disappointed that you don't have class today, especially history class, because I know that's why you live and breathe. But we do need to continue to progress in our study of America's story. I apologize, there was a little work that we were going to have planned in class today, so since we're not in class, you can actually do it at home. In fact, we need to do it at home so that we can move forward and get to the really, really good stuff. Because actually, I think you're going to like this stuff. There's some really, really good stuff here. So here's what you're going to be doing today. You're going to be taking a look at the Gilded Age, which is something that you hopefully were prepared to talk about a little when you came to class today on Monday. It's really an overlooked time period, especially in like 8th grade American history, but it's fascinating, and as you're going to find out, it is so relevant to our lives today. It really is. It matters. So what you're going to do is you are going to sketch the Gilded Age, and the instructions are all on your favorite 8th grade American history website, okay? All this information right here, and I'm about to show you some examples of what I'm doing, but you're going to make some sketch notes. You're going to take the various characteristics of the Gilded Age, and there are a lot of them, and I want you to just kind of sketch them out and then sort of describe them as well. That's part one of this activity, and I'd like it done for our next class, which is going to be Wednesday or Thursday. If we're off on Tuesday, you never know. There's a second part to it that you can read about on here, but you don't have to do that yet, but I want you to think about it, because you're going to sketch all about these different characteristics, these different key topics. You can see them right here. All right, tons of key topics from the time. And I've got a specific old textbook that you can use. I shouldn't say old, it's within the last 5 or 6 years, but you can use this because it's probably better than the History Channel. It gives you a little more visuals and stuff like that. And you can also use some specific links on a couple of these topics. Of course, you could Google them, but it's probably easier just to use this in the text. You can also use the videos that I posted before, whatever the case, but you want to have a full kind of robust overview of the different areas of the Gilded Age. By the way, if you are going to use this text, you do not have to read the whole thing. Scan it. Think about what you would do if you are using a textbook. You know, use the headings, kind of scan through that. We're not looking for necessarily, you can read the specifics, but in general, you want the more general information about the Gilded Age. The specifics are important for your mind, but not necessarily for your notes. I hope that makes sense. Okay? So, what your sketch notes would look like if we were doing them in class is this piece of paper right here. And I do have this loaded onto my USM. You can print it if you've got a big printer. This one prints out, you know how I like those big pieces of paper. But you also can print it on a regular size piece of paper. I want you to give your description of the Gilded Age right in the center here, so I know that you know what the Gilded Age is, you know? And then all around this, you are going to visually represent the various characteristics of Gilded Age America. That's the first target here. All right, and of course, you've got some assignments and notes with details at target as well. But this is the part that I want you to do right here. I want you to come to the next class sort of visually understanding and representing what the Gilded Age was. All right, I'll take a step further. What you are going to later do, and we're going to do a lot of it in class too, is you're going to find out and compare the Gilded Age with today. And you're going to use a separate document and sort of take a couple, maybe, I don't know, I haven't thought of a number yet, but as many as possible of the Gilded Age components or characteristics and see how they are recurring today. You know, Twain said that history doesn't repeat itself. At best, it sometimes rhymes. That's that historical recurrence. So you're going to do that on a separate piece of paper. So you can start thinking about it, start looking at it. I think some of these are going to be obvious to you. Just look at some of these topics: the growth of industry, income inequality, captains of industry versus robber barons. That's like the really, really wealthy people. Strikes and collective bargaining has been in the news lately with teachers and different teachers unions. This whole thing about restrictions on immigration, I think I've read something about that too. So that's what you're doing. Have some fun with it. You know, it's drawing, it's coloring, it's good times. Okay, you're about to see an example of what I did, and stay warm. Help your parents snow blow and shovel. and I miss you already. So check it out. Here I am on Sketching the Gilded Age, and I'm going to use a whole bunch of different resources because I love learning about the Gilded Age. But you can also just use this chapter from an older textbook that it's a pretty decent overview of the Gilded Age. What I want you to do is, on a piece of paper, which I have one, if you can't get it at school, but what you're going to do is you're going to take one of the topics, sort of sketch it, one of the major topics, and then describe it right there. Okay? So I've got that one, I got that one, I got that one, all these different components of the Gilded Age. And in the center, I want you to define the Gilded Age there. Please don't copy mine. That wouldn't be fun, right? These are your targets, as you can see. Now, if you're going to want to do this on your own piece of paper, that's fine. And all you got to do is make sure that you are doing what the targets are and all that. Or if you want to sketch some of it out and then transfer it to this piece of paper by cutting it out and gluing it, that's fine. I use colored pencils, and check out these cool colored pencils. Because guess what? They're pretty awesome. Look at this. They're triangles, so they don't roll off the table. So neat. See? Look. They don't roll. Wow. So cool. Okay? So have some fun with this. Tons of resources available for it online. And we're going to play around with the Gilded Age if and when we ever get back to school this week. Stay warm.